Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. Going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us to the 7th of January, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe on to around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets into the second half of January. I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video release sales are 6 AM UK weather forecast. Please like, share, subscribe on all of today's videos and content, and excuse me, thank you so much everybody for doing that. I'm still down cold, but I'm feeling a little bit better actually today. I'm not coughing quite as much, still feeling a bit throaty and whatnot, but I think yesterday was the peak of it, so I think we're starting to get on the up now. But thank you for all of your lovely messages of concern. I've had emails, I've had people messaging me on social media, I've had lots and lots of lovely comments on YouTube as well, where you're watching video calls. So thank you to all of you. You're all so kind and so lovely to me all of the while. And it really is, you know, lovely to know that people are thinking about you, worrying about you when you got a little bit of man flu and whatnot. Oh dear, I make myself cough. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for all the lovely messages. Right, going to start off, and I'm doing all right. You know, I'm getting a little bit better. Right, going to start off in the stratosphere. So we're going to begin this video having a look at SSW Latest developments. Warming is gathering pace here over Russia and also over Siberia as well. Meanwhile, the blue colours, these are the cold temperatures at 10 APA over the Arctic and over the North Pole. So warming strengthens over Siberia over the next few days, running up towards the New Year. Oh, sorry, once more, everybody. Warning strengthening over Siberia, running up to the New Year and into the New Year. A big strap warming event taking place there over Russia and penetrating in towards the Arctic and the North Pole as well. You would look at that and think that would probably send the solar wind into reverse. It's certainly going to weaken the solar wind a lot, and not a huge amount of support though for a reversal of solar winds. So it might fall just short of a technical sudden stratospheric warming, major sudden stratospheric warming event, which is classified as a reversal of solar winds at 10 HPA. But it is a big warming, and a displacement of the polar vortex then takes place from the Arctic into North America, into the North Atlantic, and into northern parts of Europe as well. I'm sorry, once more, everybody. Now we go on beyond that, and the warming begins to ease off the gas a little bit. So no split of a PV here. However, we do start to see a secondary warming beginning to take place when we get toward the end of the GFS 6 run. So that's quite interesting. We don't split the PV and reverse the solar wind, you know, next week. We might get another crack at it. We might get another shot at it when we get into the second week of January and start running up towards the middle part of the month. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Once you have one stratospheric warning, sometimes you can see back and get another one, you know. So if the first one doesn't do the business, then sometimes the second one will do so. We are also going to have a look at 30 HPA. So that's from Metro Seal. This is from Net Weather. So just to confirm that warming will be taking place here at 30 HPA over the coming few days as well. So again, you see this orange area just here. That's warming developing over Russia, Siberia, and pushing towards the polar region when we get into the beginning of January. That's the 3rd of January. And that warming remains strengthening and moving further towards the North Pole as well, heading over toward the Canadian side of the pole. Again, not splitting the PV, just displacing a displacement event taking place there with the PV at its roots, those blue colours going down into the North Atlantic and going down into northern parts of Europe as well. So this is from Weather is Cool. So the green line just here are the number of GFS Ensemble GFS Ensemble members basically, and any green line that goes under the zero line just there, they are the ensemble members that are going for a technical SSW reversal zone. It's not that many of them. So most of the GFS Ensemble members are falling short of a reversal, a dramatic weakening, yes, but falling short of a reversal zonal winds. At the moment, it looks like, well, what we can say, we are going to get a big warming of the stratosphere over Russia and Siberia. It's happening, or starting at the moment, and intensify into the new year. That warming is going to push from Siberia into the Arctic and the North Pole itself. And when it gets there, it looks like it will displace the polar vortex, so a displacement event, but falling short, just short, of the technical major southern stratospheric warming, classified as a reversal of zonal winds at 10 kph, at least initially falling short. We might get another crack at it later on into the second week of January. And it doesn't look like there's going to be there's much evidence of a split of the polar vortex type. It looks like this is going to be much more of a displacement event. Remember, displacement events will have effects on the on the troposphere. You know, if it propagates down into the troposphere, a displacement event will have an effect. It could turn things colder and more blocked. Generally, displacement events have a more muted response, I think anyway. Displacement events have a more muted response compared to split events, and the tropospheric response doesn't seem to last as long with a displacement event either. So let's wait and see how it all pans out. And of course, I'm so sorry again, but of course we will be keeping you updated. Okay, central temperature is now sitting at 6.9, that's 2.4 degrees above 61, 90 average. Turning to a very mild December after that really cold start. That's the visual yesterday to 27th. I've got a feeling that's probably going to come out above 6.5 now. I don't think we'll probably fall just short of 7, but it's going to be between 6.5 and 6.9, I would imagine, which is a very mild December CT indeed. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. The next couple of weeks, we're at Aberdeen today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Aberdeen. We're starting off around average at the moment. You'll see the upper air temperature dropping a little bit as we approach the new year. And then into the new year, actually getting a little bit colder then, but backing off like a really cold spell of weather through the first week, 10 days of January, just a little bit below normal, and that carries on excuse me, that carries on into the second week of January as well. Precipitation wise, plenty more precipitation to come, right from start to finish. Really, there's plenty, but precipitation spikes mixed in. Snow row looks like that, so there's probably going to be some snow for Aberdeen at times. Not huge amounts until we get later on, get these big spikes appearing just here. But yeah, you know, there could well be some wintry conditions at Aberdeen. Let's go somewhere further south like Leicester. There we see a few spikes as well. We have this big one, of course, but again, that is an outlier. Once more, we've got more clustering around here around the 7th of January. And a few more approaching the middle part of the month. But again, that's a relatively long way off, and so it therefore is unreliable time frame type stuff. Temperature anomalies for the 28th of 5th of January, coming out above average, 60% for England and Wales. Notice how cold it's turning though, again through the Nordic regions, and this time into the northwest of Russia as well, going to like 10 degrees or more below average. So some really cold air is going to be gathering into the far north and northeast of Europe. If we could get wind into the northeast, there's going to be plenty of cold sitting there. Then it's just whether we can manage to tap into it or not. Precipitation anomalies, once more, precipitation anomalies from the 28th of December, 5th of January, average or above average. The latest Windflow Map from earthandallschool.net shows that low pressure will be dominating the weather, or is dominating the weather at the moment, so bringing a strong westerly flow from off the Atlantic, and low pressure will stay in control of the weather through to the new year. And that takes us very nicely to chart data. So this is our latest UK Met. Euro run is looking for midnight on New Year's Eve. Deep area of low pressure over to the west of the country, bringing wet and windy weather in from off the Atlantic into the beginning of next week. Staying unsettled, low pressure remaining control. This area of low running across northern parts of France might bring something a little bit wintry into more southern counties as we get through into the middle of next week. That's a long way off, of course, though. And that's how it looks as we get to the end of the UK Met Euro run, really between areas of of low pressure then. So a little bit drier and perhaps a bit on the chilly side as well. I can't again looking very wet and windy at that low for New Year's Eve, and we go beyond that into the opening days of January, again looking quite cool and unsettled. Through the middle part of next week, though, start to build pressure a little bit more down across the south, and that starts to semi-zones low pressure a bit further north, so perhaps turning a bit drier down the south, and keeping the wind in from a west or southwesterly direction, so staying relatively mild there. We've got the GFS midnight run, again with low pressure in control and dominating. Well, actually, we haven't shown the KMA, so let's just go back here as I've got Richard Seal up. I can go to the KMA. There it is, just there. Right, so 72 hours. So again, New Year's Eve, wet and windy, low pressure is in control and staying very unsettled, wet, windy through to the middle part of next week as well. Heights starting to rise a little bit later next week, turning a bit drier. This area of low pressure and pushing through. As that one clears away, it will pull in some colder air with it as well. Then high pressure takes over. By the 9th of January, we're under an area of high pressure. Most parts of Europe plunging down into the freezer there as well with the KMA. We're on the periphery of it because of the position of that high pressure. High pressure going to be further north and west to really tap into those very cold northeast winds. Nevertheless, it does turn colder though around the 7th of January as that low pressure exits away into France and the Low Countries. It turns drier and colder there at the end of the first week of January with the KMA. Right, let's go back to GFS. Since it's the GFS midnight run is looking low pressure again, remaining in control of weather, bringing lots of wet and windy conditions with it for the weekend and into next week as well, staying unsettled with low pressure dominating the weather, more low pressure punching through into the second half of next week as well, and then by day 10 just started to semi-zone low pressure a bit further southwards, beginning to turn a little bit drier and colder from the north and from the northwest as this ridge starts getting going. So as we go through to the 8th of January, just beyond day 10, we start putting a colder northeasterly with the low pressure sinking down towards Biscay, so drier and colder there. GFS midnight run, then high pressure takes over into the second week of January. That gives us a break from the unsettled weather. It will be quite cold under that area of high pressure, mostly dry, but it's not much snow, but will be cold and frosty. Looking very wintry here across much of Eastern Europe with this northerly wind going down into the Balkans and possibly towards Greece and whatnot. So very wintry conditions as that low pushes through to southeastern Europe. Eventually we finish up going back into milder, wetter and windier weather again by the 13th of January. The GFS 6Z run, again, bringing low pressure in from off the Atlantic, bringing lots of wet and windy weather in with it. Give me once more, and that low pressure stays with us through the course of next week, and not much sign that it gets cold really on the GFS 6Z. GFS definitely backing off cold weather through the first week, 10 days of January at the moment. We do, however, though, into the second week of January, start turning drier under the ridge here, so that will dry things out. Will be very chilly under that ridge of high pressure, but not for long. No pressure back in. We end up looking very mild actually by the 13th of January, bringing along southwesterly, so very mild weather then. If you're enjoying the video, please you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this, all of our videos, and don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. We need to put on around 17 subscribers, 70, to get ourselves to 17.6k, so if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, that would be amazing and incredible. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Okay, GM, give you much more GM. GM with low pressure again dominated weather on New Year's Eve, and low pressure stays with us into the beginning of next week as well. Heights are trying to rise to the north. You notice Scandinavian high is trying to get going, but the Atlantic's still too strong to allow that. So as we end the GM run at day 10, we are under a little transient ridge then, a bit drier and a little bit cooler, but not particularly cold. And then the ECM looks like that. Again, low pressure It's dominating the weather on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Plenty of wet, windy weather to come. Another low pressure zipping through on a more southerly track there on Tuesday, 2nd of January, and the low pressure just keep coming through next week. The ECM does then start to raise the heights a bit as we get towards days 8, 9, 10 though. So by day 10, which is the 7th of January, we have got a bit of high pressure in the Atlantic, reaching northwards, and we are pulling in what looks like a rather colder northeast. I don't think the upper air temperature would be especially cold with that, but certainly colder anyway, with the -5 Celsius isobarm coming southwards and eastwards. So out of all of the models, I think the ECM is probably, along with KMA, probably one that's turning things colder by day 10. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Tometeo.com. So plenty of showers, long spells of rain to come, and the next batch of wet and windy weather, giving what's more, is in across the country on New Year's Eve. Giving a wet and windy New Year's Eve. New Year's Day back to showery conditions, and then more heavy rains dipping across the south there from the 1st to the 2nd of January. The next low coming in on the 3rd of January, as that bumps into cold air, some of that precipitation turns to snow across parts of Wales, northern England, and possibly Northern Ireland, southern Scotland as well. Cold rain further south. And then we finish up looking dry, but showers are turning more wintry, even down into the southeast. Some wintry showers there by the 7th of January as those colder northeasterly winds begin to get going. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10. Excuse me, gets 7th of January. 28 members of the ECM ensembles have blocking around Greenland and in the North Atlantic. However, the low pressure isn't going far enough south to allow anything particularly cold in, so that's just continuation of unsettled weather. And then we have 23, which includes the control and the operational run, with high pressure in the North Atlantic towards Greenland, and low pressure is further towards the south and the southeast. That pulls the wind in from more of a northeasterly direction, so that's the colder option. As I say, it does include the control and the operational run, not the majority option, but with 23 to 28, there's not all that much in there really between the two. And then 2 weeks time, these are the options that we've got. Will get us to the 12th of January. And we've got to 12 members of the ECM ensembles again, with high pressure over the country and out in the Atlantic. That would be mostly dry, probably cold and frosty. 12 with a mid-Atlantic ridge, and low pressure over and to the east of the country. That probably brings the wind in from a cooler or a colder northerly direction, so unsettled with that. 11, again with high pressure to our west, low pressure to our east. That brings in cold northeasterly winds. We've got 8 with high pressure ridging in from the Atlantic, probably a little bit more westerly with the wind direction with that one. And then we've got another 8 here with high pressure to the northwest, low pressure the south, and that we bring in winds from quite a cold east or northeasterly direction. So most of the options look at the very least drier and frostier as we go into the 2nd week of January. And potentially, there is potential for some wintry conditions here with quite a few of those options as well. So the ECM ensembles are still looking quite interesting. CFS V2 finally, these are 500 millibar height and noise breakdown. Into week periods. The first week period takes from 28th of December to 3rd of January. So the next week will be unsettled with low pressure dominating the weather. Week 2 is going to be the 4th to the 10th of January, with high pressure in the Atlantic going up towards Greenland, low pressure to our east, and winds coming in from a north or a northeasterly direction. So that's cold in week 2. Week 3. It's going to be the 11th, 17th of January, low pressure to our east and pulling in the wind from more of a northwesterly direction. It's still quite chilly with that, but not as cold perhaps. And then week 4 is the 18th to 24th of January. Again, low pressure centred over Scandinavia, but with high pressure to our south, the wind still just about managing to come in from a mildish westerly direction. You'd only have to raise the heights a little bit there, though, to pull down more of a northeasterly. So we're not that far away, both weeks 3 and 4, from being cold, actually. Just a subtle adjustment would deliver more of a northerly flow. So we'll see how it all pans out. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Right up, drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thanks so much, everybody, for doing that. Okay, so not quite as much coughing on this one, I think. So I'm getting a bit better today, and hopefully by tomorrow on the weekend, I'll be back to normal Gav. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas Thursday. Just coming up tomorrow on Christmas Friday, we have 6 a.m. forecast. I think we'll do Germany Friday, and there'll be a 10 to 14 day as well. Please keep checking back to the channel for all of the content. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas Thursday, and for this one, that's all for now. And thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye for now.